my best mate in cricket, Bret Lee. I'm just waiting for him to come in. And while I wait, actually, we don't need him here at the moment because I'm going to give you a little bit of background. If it wasn't for Bret Lee, who everyone knows is an amazing cricketer, amazing fast bowler, if it wasn't for him, I actually would not have met my wife, Lee. Now we're into nearly 10 years of marriage. So Bret Lee was actually super kind to be able to introduce my wife and I. It was a long time ago, 2006. So, there's plenty more stories to come as well. I'm just going to try one more time to be able to get Bret. Hopefully he's here somewhere. Just hang on a second. There we go. All right, I think he's joining, but up until he does join, again, Brett and I actually met each other. Oh,
yes, mate.
Here he is.
How are you, buddy?
I'm great. How you going?
Yeah, good.
I just let everyone know. Thanks so much for joining, mate. This is super exciting about to have you.
I was hearing the whole intro, mate. I was enjoying this.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you knew. Okay, well, I didn't want to give up too much dirt on you. But so if everyone didn't know before, Binger was the guy who actually introduced myself to my wife, and I'm forever grateful. That's one special thing that you've helped me with in my life. But it's amazing how through different parts of your life, how they you meet someone who just has such a huge impact on your life, and you certainly have had that on me throughout so many different experiences throughout my life. So
Thanks,
thank you
mate.
so much for joining. This is super cool to be able to chat to you.
Awesome. This is great. Cool. Yeah, and hello everyone. Namaste. I heard you say at the start. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you might be around the world. Yeah, this is a great time. This is so exciting. Certainly as best mates and guys that have been in the cricket team for many, many years, and had some amazing stories and memories together. To do this, this is fun. I made my debut the other night, so this is my second crack at it. So I might be better at this one.
You're always better after a first out.
Second innings.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we can talk about so many different things. We have so many various things that we could cover and topics that we can talk about, and we certainly will cover some things. But obviously, just during this time in the world at this moment, this unprecedented time, how have you been spending your time in the last couple of months, in particular, when Australia in particular has been shut down in a way, and everyone's had to self-isolate?
Well, look, it's been obviously horrendous with what's happened around the world. Certainly, I know over in India, they're going through a real tough time right now. Certainly in Australia, I think that we've done pretty well considering. Doesn't take away the sort of amount of people that have been affected by it, the amount of deaths, people that we've lost, friends and family of those that have passed away through COVID-19, which is horrendous. It doesn't matter if it kills one person or it kills 100 or it kills a couple of 100,000. It's taking one life, which is horrible. For me personally, I try and always look on an optimistic and a bright side. So where there's sometimes all these horrible things that happen in our lives, we try and take good things out of it. And for me personally, it's actually been the time with my family. As you know, Watto, it's, we've spent the last 20, 25 years on the road traveling, which, we certainly wouldn't take back and certainly wouldn't, frown upon it, because, I speak to so many people and they go, look, I've been to Bali once, or I actually went to West Australia. I'm from Sydney. I'm like, well, that's fantastic. And they asked me, and I'm like, well, yeah, I've traveled the world. And you feel like a bit of a big head, but it's been such an amazing journey. But for me, this particular time has been really good from a positive sense, because I've had so much, amazing times with my family, to spend some time with my wife and my 3 beautiful kids, and be at home when there's no timetable. You can't leave your house. You can't go out. You are self-isolating. You're here with your family. And I've never had that in my life ever. So it's been horrible, but also nice to be, present in their lives.
That's for sure, mate. And that's the one thing for me. Like I got back from playing in the PSL, and hi to everyone who's tuned in from Pakistan as well. I've had a
Yep.
few people say hi from Pakistan. So I came straight home from the PSL, and I had to be self-isolated straight away in my own home, and I couldn't get out. And the one thing that it made me realise is how important your little domain is, no matter how big it is, whether it's a small apartment or a small little block, or whether it's a small house. You turn it into your own sanctuary and you make it work. And that was the really special thing, for my family and I, that it was enforced quality time for everyone just to stop. Because not too many work, like I know, and this is a horrendous situation that's happening. So many people, as you said, losing their lives and being affected by it. Obviously the world economy and everything's been hit incredibly hard as well. But it has been an enforced time to actually just stop for a bit, because life is so busy all the time. We're always on the go. We're always trying to, do things. We're always trying to, get better and learn things. And that it's been a time to actually just pause for a little bit and enjoy your surroundings. And even if it's that, and especially your family surroundings. So that for me has been incredibly special.
And bring out the board games, which
absolutely.
I haven't done that for a while. Cards and board games.
Snakes and ladders is coming.
Trouble? Remember Trouble?
Oh, yeah, Trouble. Yeah, my son Will is learning how to lose. He's a shocking loser. He doesn't like losing. So it's actually been, surprisingly. Yeah, I wonder where he got that from. But it's been a good time for him to learn how to not win all the time. So no, it's awesome,
playing
mate.
some garage cricket with Preston. I have played this afternoon. I sort of found that trying to peg the ball at 43 years of age or bowl it, to still do it, but it takes the thing, because he wants consistent ball after ball after ball. So now I've actually worked out a tennis racket on the tiles and just like serve it down, and it's like batting at the whacker. Good pace.
How good. Awesome. Well,
Save my shoulder.
Good to be able to learn. Yeah, and it's good to learn how to play like that as well. Go Preston.
Yeah.
Little legend.
You're a bit of a gun tennis player growing up too, weren't you?
It's not too bad.
Speaking of tennis.
Not too bad. I didn't have the surprisingly, I didn't have the temperament for tennis.
I'm going to get you fishing.
Too competitive.
And, we'll sort of get to that after, but fishing teaches patience.
It does. So peaceful. I love doing it with my son and daughter as well. But even though I've got no idea I've got a tiny idea how to rig up, put a sinker on and a swivel and a hook.
Can you please? Can you tell all the viewers that are like either at work or at home watching? You tell that story about you thought you had the perfect setup, and you went down from your main line, you put the swivel on and the sinker, and you went, had the beautiful trace on. And what happened after you flung it out?
So my dad's a keen fisherman. I never really fished a lot when I was younger. Yeah, Bobby. So he taught me how to do the knots, but never actually done it on my own. So I thought, I know how to do these special knots, and I rigged it up thinking, it's just sweet. I'm going to nail it. Threw the line in, good cast, thinking, wow, awesome. And then the whole thing, just the sinker, the hook, and the trace just flew straight in the water. And Will, my son who was there with me, thought it was hilarious. I was like, I'm now going to have to spend half an hour trying to rig it up again.
You can actually buy a pre-made rig. You can just tie it straight on.
Thanks,
maybe next time.
Yeah. Someone just mentioned before, that age is just a number, which is incredibly kind. And what you're saying there at 43, mate, you're still playing like occasional 2020 games for your club in club cricket, mate, and still bowling good wheels. I've stopped bowling because my body can't do it. You're a freak.
Did up until last year. Well, I played that bushfire game. Yeah, the charity game that we played to raise money for all the people. That was
fun, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. That was
we raised a lot of money. Like CA and the ACA, they did a phenomenal job to bring that together. But how special is that to actually be on the same field with the guys that we spent so much time together with? God, and the cool legends as well.
Yeah, and I also reckon too, it actually brought out a few of the old nerves as well, because you get that, you don't want to go out there and firstly, you don't want to make an absolute arse of yourself, do you? You want to make sure you get out there and you do the best you possibly can, and, you don't want to embarrass yourself. But it's also once that first four gets hit or we get hit for six off Gilly in the second ball of the game or whatever it was, that was like, okay, it's game on here again. And that competitive juice starts to flow again.
Yeah, but I was super nervous to be able to face you because I'm still playing. And like
Oh, you
look,
whacked
I've
them.
never been embarrassed. Look, I've never been embarrassed to get out to you, Benny. You've knocked me over that many times. But oh gosh, I was so nervous going, gosh, I'll just get through the first couple of balls. And then Paul was macro. I still like sorry was felt that bad. Like,
Pumped it for six.
oh geez, yeah, no. Down breeze. Like he got the wrong end.
He got
he drew the short straw there, down
he got
breeze.
met.
So to
He
get
got
it
met.
airborne. Paul was
Sorry,
what a
Waz.
legend.
Oh, champion.
Okay, there's something I wanted to. I don't know if people know this about you, Binger,
Mm,
because okay, I am when it comes to fixing things,
okay.
I'm absolutely hopeless.
Just grab a bit of water.
There's something called in Australia. It's called hire a hubby, and hire a hubby to fix things for
Yeah.
nothing else, just to fix things, right? And I've got to outsource that stuff because it's just not my strength. I'll ruin things even more. But the one thing you're amazing at, Binger, is fixing things. And DIY projects, getting in the backyard or down at your farm, fixing fences and that. Tell me your most proud project that you've actually done.
Oh, look, to me, it's fun, and I actually don't mind getting in doing the hard yards, doing the hard work. Because I look at it, one has been like an extra fitness session, so to try to keep on top of your fitness, and you're out in the open and you're doing things that are going to improve your land or going to make your house look better, or just get off the iPad, get off the computer, get off your phone, and just try and do things that are active and healthy. So.
Yeah.
I remember a couple of years ago down at my farm down the Southern Highlands, I had to do, a few K of fencing. So to do 4 rungs of fencing to keep the cattle in. And that was like, and you pretty much learn the job. My dad's very skillful at that type of thing. Bobby Boy, we
Yeah.
both share
Two
dad's
Bobbies.
first name, Bob. Yeah, Bob Squared. But he's taught me heaps. He's taught me, he sort of worked at BHP his whole life, 40 years at Steelworks, and learned so many different trades on the job, and just passed on, I guess, a couple of basic things to me that I could probably learn. But you just learn the job, and you just try to work it out, and that's the good thing too, because there's been so many times where I've gone. I mean, I'm not sure if you can see any holes in the wall behind me, but you go with a hammer drill, you go, whoops. That was meant to be in a plaster. I thought I was going into a beam, so I probably shouldn't have used the wrong sort of end and all that type of stuff. So it's just you learn the job and you try. So doing the fence at the farm was brilliant. In my house recently, which I just sold, I just put a beautiful big back lawn in with my mate Andy, and we just did put like a nice steel edge in and laid all the turf and had some fun doing it. Did some landscaping, just fun.
Jack of all trades.
You could actually surprise yourself.
But the one thing that everyone's got to realize, okay, Brett before I met him he was the ultimate. He bowled 160 k's an hour. He was a good looking rooster. He played in a rock band. He was in a band, and there's nothing really. There's not many things that you can't do. And the one thing, like to be able to be very skillful at just having the awareness around how to fix things, how to build things, is a great skill. It's one thing that a lot of probably people don't. They know that you are a genuine all-rounder at so many different things. And that's the reason why we could talk tonight for hours, because there's so many different things that we both love that we've got in common that we could talk about forever.
But I think with with me personally, it was try and take my mind off cricket. Cricket to me is my first passion. It was my first, I guess, proper paying job, and it came a lot easier than most other things. But there are so many other interests that I love, and mentioned being outdoors and being at the farm and fishing, all those types of things. That was what got my mind off cricket. Music, we both have an absolute passion for music, which we'll probably get to later on. But the people that don't know you, Watto, and I'll give them a bit of an insight now. So this is not about me. This is about us. You're the sort of type of person that people might see you on TV and they go, "Is he an amazing cricketer?" Yes, he's one of Australia's greatest all-rounders. Brilliant in the Indian Premier League. You're still playing next year or this season coming up, and scoring that 100 in the final. Absolutely. That sort of takes you to that next level, right? But to me, it's people that see me in the street and they go, "What's Shane Watson really like?" Because when I see Shane Watson, I see him as a person that puts his heart and soul into his cricket. He sort of gets out there and he's aggressive with the bat, he's aggressive with the ball. Sometimes he might punch his bat when he gets out. But they've got no idea what you're like off the field. I know what you're like because I'm one of your good mates. But, you're a big bloody softie. You're a massive softie. You love doing things away from cricket. And one in particular, which I also like. But tell us about your love for coffee.
Yeah. Look, they're very kind words, Binger.
Because you're a coffee nuffy, aren't you?
I'm a coffee nuffy. But just going back on what people like see when they see you playing. And I'm saying, just even from my perspective alone, people think that how I'm on the field, which is I'm in survival mode. You're getting pushed all the time for you to be at your best. You got people challenging you, trying to knock you over, or win. Whether it's just that individual battle or whether it's just a team battle. So people then think that I'm in survival mode on the cricket field, and then when I'm off the field, as soon as I walk off, they think that's exactly how I am when I walk down the street. so that's the.
But you bat.
Yeah,
but you're not.
Someone on. I know, but if you only see someone on the field, then obviously that's all you really know. But that's the beauty of these sorts of things for people to be able to understand how you are a little bit away from the survival mode and competitive mode
big time
on the field. But talking about coffee,
but what makes you like coffee? What is it about coffee that inspires you? I guess.
Look, a few things. It's like I'm fascinated by how different coffee can taste by where it comes from, what region it comes from, then how it's roasted, whether it's a light roast, whether it's a dark roast, whether it's a medium roast. And then also how you make the coffee, whether you want like a filter coffee, whether you want an espresso, whether you want it with milk. I just find it it's complex but super cool. And now, because I love my coffee, and this is all around the world. This is not just zeroing in on certain places. Most places around the world, it's hard to find a good coffee unless you really know exactly where to go. So hotels that we stay in all around the world, they don't have great coffee at all. You got to go and hunt it down. So now I actually take
like mud water.
Or just like coffee flavored hot milk.
Yeah.
Or like drinking an ashtray if they've just burnt the bejesus out.
It's roasted.
So now I take my own coffee over. I take, I don't know whether it's a couple of kilos worth of coffee beans. I have a thing called a AeroPress, which is just it's like a pressure to be able to push the hot water. So there's always kettles in your hotel room. Push the hot water through. I've got my own hand grinder. I've got my own hand grinder, which I grind up 20 grams, 20 grams of coffee. Yeah, and it's a black coffee, so it's filter coffee, and I get really nice coffee everywhere I go. So I was in Pakistan for the PSL and had an amazing time there. The great thing is it's also social. Like most people love coffee, so they can come in a room. I love nothing more than give them a good coffee as well. I was in Bangladesh for the Bangladesh Premier League. Take it away. So I'm drinking really good coffee whenever I want, which is awesome.
And what do you do with the milk? Do you have it black or do you have
no milk? No, it's black. No, because you don't know where the milk is.
No dult, as they say in Hindi.
It's hard to get milk. It's hard to source decent milk. I haven't got a frother with me. That's too bulky to be able to carry. So the AeroPress machine, my coffee beans, my hand grinder. It's not very bulky at all. Take it wherever I go. There's always a kettle in your hotel room.
That is phenomenal.
So happy
taking
days.
Your own coffee beans on tour. What about when you're at home? Because I have seen your wonderful, beautiful coffee machine at your pad.
Yeah.
What do you think is because I actually reckon it's all about the milk. It's the way you froth the milk. But how do you? What is your? If I could say, what's your perfect coffee? What would you ask for if you could pick any coffee?
Oh, mine's
how would you have it?
Slightly big. Okay, yeah, slightly bigger than a piccolo. So a piccolo is half a latte. So just a little bit more milk than half a latte. So, but at the moment, I'm actually into oat milk. Oat milk, it's a bit lighter in my stomach. Oat milk, there's a few different brands that I use that actually they're made for baristas. Are you there? Have I got you? Did you just?
Yeah, I'm here. Yep, something happened.
Got you.
I'm back.
Whoa. So yeah, oat milk. There's barista sort of barista oat milk. So whatever they've done to the oat milk, so it froths up really well. And initially, it tastes slightly different to like normal milk, but it's really nice, and it's a bit lighter in my stomach as well. So at the moment, that's my go-to.
There you go. I mean, I used to always drink just normal cow's milk, and I recently gone to almond, and I sort of find that
Mm.
that's, I don't know, it just agrees with me a bit better because I like to smash two coffees before I even have breakfast in the morning. Bang, bang, and you get on a real big buzz, and
So
then
good.
off you go.
Get going, off you go. Wind it up. All right. So
What else? What
okay,
else, mate?
I'm gonna move. No, I'm gonna move on to like just one cricket question. We're going to cover a lot of different, like a number of different topics, but a
Okay.
cricket question. Can you um, give me your favorite one or two moments that you've had in your career?
Uh, I'd have to say there are two that spring to mind, and two that are always very close to my heart. One is to obviously get my baggy green cap and to be presented with my baggy green. To first get that phone call to say that you've been chosen in the squad, to then get the call to say that you're playing, to then get handed your baggy green cap before you go out, and then to take the ball, playing in my first test, that has to be the best ever. But I reckon
Yeah.
equal with that, because a lot of people say, oh, 100 in the Ashes or a fifer at Lords or whatever it might be.
Yeah, just gonna
To
drink.
me, it was walking out. I'll get one as well. To me, it was actually walking out, playing in my first one day match with my brother Shane. So
Yeah.
walking out in our colourful Australian clothing, against Pakistan, and to see S Lee number 20 on his back, and I'm out behind him. Here comes his little brother, type of thing. And I'm thinking, we're not playing 22 games for Australia together as a family, and that was something that we spoke about in the backyard. Back at Mount Warrigal on the south coast of Sydney, 2 hours out of Sydney, dreaming that would be the Chappell brothers, or would be, these three boys in a family that all want to play cricket for their country. And two of us were lucky enough to achieve it. My younger brother Grant was better than both of us put together, and went into forensic accountancy and is a gun muso. So he certainly did his end as well. But
Yeah.
yeah, to play with my older brother Shane, who I still look up to as one of my heroes, was absolutely incredible. So that to me is an amazing memory.
Imagine
And
how
yours? What
proud
about
like your mum and dad.
what about
Well,
yours,
imagine how
mate?
proud your mum and dad would have been to be able to see, your two brothers, and also, you just as a family to be able to see dreams come true. That's what, gosh, as a parent, that's what only
Yeah, well, they
you wish for your kids,
sacrificed
isn't
everything
it?
for us. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
exactly. Like a lot of parents do for their kids. And you,
Yeah.
favorite moment, memory?
Oh, well, the favorite memory that stands out, like for me, easily is the 2015 World Cup win here in Australia. That for me was, I was fortunate enough to be
Yeah.
like involved in a very special Ashes win here in Australia, which in 2013-14, where we won the Ashes 5-0. But the World Cup, because everyone knows from so far out when a World Cup is going to be, that it's going to be at home. 2015, even when I first started like playing with you in 2002, it's like everyone knew that a World Cup at home was there if you're able to
Mm.
hang in for long enough. And to be able to be on that, that day at the MCG, and that night after we'd won it, and that dream sort of came true, walking around the ground with so many people still there, like the ground was nearly like still close to capacity when we were doing the lap. It's a time where you just wish you could pause for a little bit longer, just to be able to be in that moment for and bathe in it for that little bit longer, because that's what you work so hard for. That's why you make all those sacrifices to be able to have a chance to be able to be involved with something like that. So yeah, I'd say that was definitely the thing that stands out the most.
Pretty incredible. And you've been working on a few projects and a couple of opportunities.
Mm.
Talk us through what's on the top of your list at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I've launched about 2 months ago now, T20 Stars, which is
Yeah, I was going to
an
ask about
on
T20
yeah,
Stars.
and yeah, an online cricket content program that I've put together, and I've just, well, I'm loving. I've been so fortunate, as we have been, Binger, to be able to learn from so many great players across the board, whether that's playing for Australia, whether that's
Mm.
playing in the IPL and playing in different for different franchises. We get to meet and be around some of the greatest players that the world's ever seen. So I really feel it's a chance for me to be able to put all that knowledge together and then share it with everyone. in every single way. So they don't actually have to be like you and I have been fortunate enough to be in a room, in a team with these people. You can actually get an understanding of that information without actually having to play with that person or be around that person. And
Yeah.
that's where
What a great concept.
yeah, and that's the podcast that I've been doing and called Lessons Learned with the Greats. That's the special thing about it is being able to talk to these great players and get insights for everyone else to listen to. And something, so for everyone out there, Brett Bingham was so kind to come on this next episode that's coming out on Friday,
There you
Lessons
go.
Learned with the Greats. And
Download
and
it. Download it.
get onto it because it's incredible. And there's a few things in particular, and being we know each other incredibly well, but even during that that interview and that conversation that we had, there's a couple of things that you talked about that I actually didn't know about you, which is in a way it's sad that we like cricketers, yeah, you sometimes dig a bit deeper, but you don't dig deep enough to really share all your knowledge and why you do things. And one thing that stands out to me was your visualization technique of tricking your brain into thinking that you just come off a 5-wicket haul. So you just come off a really great day or a great spell, and you just had the skill of tricking your brain. And that's the power of the mind. But I found that fascinating. I never knew you did it. So
Yeah, look,
skill.
it's actually crazy what you can do with your brain, and how you can train and actually trick your mind. And you speak to the greats, and a person that springs to mind is Charlie Teo, the wonderful brain surgeon, and is a friend of ours, and a guy that has saved so many lives and has just gone in and understands the brain better than I think most people. And he just says that we use so little of our brain. There's so much more that we can use, and only using part of our brain. So to me, it was about learning about how I can actually trick my brain into thinking, because it's almost like we sometimes always look at the negatives in things. For example, if you're up there on the tee box, and I'm probably Happy Gilmore. I love having a game of golf, but just love slapping the ball. I don't even take a chipper. I don't take a sandwich. I don't take a putt. I just take a one with a massive big moose head and just try to lace the ball. But you always go, oh, there's water on the left, or there's a sand bunker on the right, and so straight away you're actually imprinting these little negative things in your brain that there's water on the left and sand on the right. Oh, if I don't quite hit it, rather than going, but I can promise you'll probably hit one of those foul places. You either go in the water or go in the sand bunker. If you're in an open paddock and there's no water, you hit the ball dead straight most times because you're not even worried about it. So that concept, I thought, well, how can I use that with cricket? And as what we said in the podcast, and people can actually listen to it in more detail when they download on Fridays, it's I've come back after another setback, another injury, and my body's saying that I'm not quite where I probably should be. I'm physically fit and I'm ready to play, but I haven't had 10 weeks of wonderful games up my sleeve, and I'm feeling on top of my game. But I tell my brain, right, last game, Fifer, felt really good, bowled the house down, good lines, and I just closed my eyes for a second before I ran the bowl, closed my eyes, and be in fast motion. I'll be running in, and there'll be a camera behind me as I'm running in, and I'm watching myself running. I feel like I'm about this big running in, so there's cameras following me in. I see my action, get up, snap down hard with my left arm, follow through. I see the batsman go forward, hopefully Sachin, and I'm sorry to all that wonderful, beautiful fans in India, hopefully Sachin going forward and nicking it and gilly diving to his right and taking a beautiful catch. That was my stock ball, and that's what I try to visualize every single time. Now, if you tell your brain good things and happy things and healthy things, more often than not, it does happen. So, some little tips there, but
absolutely.
Yeah,
it's phenomenal.
They can get that in the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. And whoever's listening to this now, you've got to go and listen and download the podcast. This episode with Binger, the insights that he gives are absolutely, they're phenomenal. And again, this is just one. The visualization one is just one that he talks about that I didn't know to the depths that he'd go to. And there is no secret to the reason why he was as great as what he was. and so many other insights. So please, yeah, please download it when it comes out on Friday afternoon, because
Yeah,
you'll
it's going to be good.
learn so much. And it's not just cricket, across the board, about life experiences and about, financial and media and everything like that. You'll get a lot of different incredible lessons out of it.
Well, that's it. I actually can't wait to hear all the other guests that you got on too, and I'm really excited about your
So
T20
lucky.
stars. That's because you're not just learning. People think, is it just about cricket? But it's not. It's about what I went through in my career and how other people deal with things, and then you sort of talk about that mental strength and how to
Mm.
overcome adversity. So yeah, if there's any and you don't have to be a cricketer, a boy or a girl cricketer to listen in to enjoy it or get something out of it. You can be, how do I get that better job? How do I get that better opportunity? How do I get that girlfriend I want or that boyfriend that you want type of thing? It's
Yep,
training your brain and staying healthy.
absolutely. Yep. No,
That's good, mate.
appreciate you taking the time to be able to, come on. I've been so fortunate so far to be able to have so many great people, and there's hopefully
Of
going to be
course I'll do
more.
it, mate. Mate, you said, can you come on? I said, I'm in. Lock me in.
No, it's very, very kind. I'd like to. There's one question that now, because I'm at a stage where I'm sort of still playing, but transitioning out as well with doing some other things like T20 stars.
Hmm.
And a lot of the conversations I've had around people who I played with, of my generation anyway, has been the transition out of cricket and how challenging that can be. Um, what were your biggest challenges, moving from your playing days into the next exciting phase of your life?
Well, yeah, and I actually did call it a phase. That was stage
Mm,
one, of my life. That was the first phase,
mm,
the first stage, the first chapter, whichever way you want to look at it. So the way that I try to explain to people, when you're in that phase, when you're in the Australian cricket team, and you might be in there for one game, you might be in there for 13 or 15 years, you might be in there for 20 years if you have the best career in the world.
yeah,
But you're in this bubble and you are sheltered from the world, yet open to expression through fans and through media. You're protected for everything that you do, yet you don't understand how the world really works. And the way that I explain that is that I didn't even know how to bloody book a flight. I didn't know how to book a hotel room. It's all done for you. And,
it's all done for you.
you
Yeah,
sort of, you finish playing cricket. Obviously, you work it out in 2 seconds, but you go, oh, geez, how do I book that flight? Like someone normally does it, Cricket Australia. You get the call, you got to go to South Africa or India. I'm off to India. I'm off to Mumbai, you beauty. Okay, you get your itinerary, you get your schedule, what time the car's coming, you know exactly where you have to get to, you know exactly who's picking you up, you know what time you're training, you know what you have to eat, it's all there for you.
mm,
Where when you walk away from cricket, or you actually, you either get sacked or you get booted or you go away on your own terms, you then get to the next part of your life where you go, okay, well, I've actually now got to step up and work out what my diary is. I have to put the entries in. I have to book the flight. And I don't want to sound like
mm.
I'm, like full of it, but that's what happens when you're with the team. Like it's all
Yeah,
done
the
for
shifts
you.
have been
So
done
it's
for you.
it's a
Yeah, exactly.
real so it's a real steep curl or curve back to earth, or a quick fall back to earth about doing the basics. But I
Mm,
actually loved doing the basic things, and I tried to do most of them whilst I was playing anyway. Like, get out and take the bins out, mow the lawn when you're at home, and just do the normal things that people hate doing because we don't get the chance to do it, or we didn't when we were playing. So to me, the transition was, I want to make sure I had other interests. I've always had interests. I've been involved in, my first job was in clothing, working in menswear, Richie Bowman, who to this day I still work with Richie Bowman. I'm actually launching a new clothing line, BL label, coming out again shortly. So it's there. You've
serious?
heard it. You've heard it first. No one else knows.
Wow.
It's going to be
Really?
coming out shortly. Even
Like
you didn't know that?
formal wear? No, formal
No,
wear.
it's going to be
Like more
obviously
smart
suits,
casual.
shirts, and ties, but also
Yeah.
catering for the modern day office now. So a really nice chino with a
Yeah.
beautiful
Right.
white shirt with a spread wing collar and a nice jacket type of
Yeah.
thing. So it's because people aren't wearing a lot of suits these days. They still wear
No,
suits
exactly.
to meetings and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so that's really exciting. So that to
Wow.
me, when I was
That's exciting.
17,
Jeez.
working with Richard, he showed me about how a business is run. That
Mm,
was always having something to fall back on. So when
mm,
I actually moved away from cricket, because I had other interests, because I had my music, because I had the stuff with fashion, doing
mm,
stuff with charities, not even thinking about would I ever get into commentary. And through that natural progression and I guess staying current with the media, because, to me, it was always about the media. People frown upon the media and they don't want to
mm.
give the media much. But when you actually understand that you can work together and both benefit,
Yeah.
that's 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 when it's the sort of sweet spot. And,
Yeah.
obviously getting the chance to work with Fox Sports and Star Sports in India, that transition to me didn't really feel that hard because I stayed in cricket, but I wasn't bowling the overs. And there was no waking up with a sore glute in the morning or a dodgy calf or my shoulder's
Right.
about to feel like it's about to fall off,
Your ankle. Yeah.
the ankle, yeah. So that,
Yeah.
that was, that transition to me was a lot easier because I guess I did the
Mm,
hard yards as I was
yeah.
coming through when I was playing.
No, no, it's amazing, mate. Well, that's
It's
the
all
thing.
it's all ahead
That's
of you, mate.
yeah.
I mean, how much longer
Yeah.
you reckon you've got?
Well, look, well, at least another,
IPL this year.
IPL, if things work out, and hopefully they do for everyone's safety, and everything's okay, I'd love to be able to play for another season for CSK. It's
I'm looking, and
I've
I,
had
I
so
want to
much,
make note
I've
of
had
all these
so much
people that
fun.
are writing in.
Yeah.
Please mention CSK. All these yellow hearts. Look at these yellow hearts now. They're all coming, mate. You've had a lot of fun with
Yeah.
CSK, haven't you?
Yeah. Look, I've been so fortunate playing, two other great,
Mm.
amazing franchises as well. But to finish off this part of my career, right at the back end with MS Dhoni, to be able to finally play with him and be captained by him and get to know him has been
Oh
super
wow.
cool. Because he's just a special guy. But also Stephen Fleming. Stephen Fleming is for me, he's the ultimate guy, ultimate coach. And just like if people want to really understand how good Stephen Fleming is, um, last week I released a episode with Stephen Fleming, and he's just so
Yep.
articulate, so well. So he just gets how to get the best out of people and understands it. And yeah. So to be able to work with those two guys and then all the other guys in CSK as well, it's great fun. There's no doubt. And I'm
Yeah.
just so fortunate to still be playing at this stage in my career, for such a great franchise and some other and other great franchises around, like Quetta Gladiators for the PSL is so much fun to have. Mohan
Good
Khan, who's the
crowds and
coach,
yeah.
oh, amazing crowds, and to be able to travel around Pakistan this time and get to see different parts which I haven't before. But the most special thing for me in Quetta is Sir Viv Richards is our mentor. So I get to hang with one of the coolest dudes
The
on the
coolest
planet.
man in the world. Yeah.
So I get to hang with him for like 5 weeks. Yeah,
How good.
how good's that? So I'm just making the most of it. But also, as I said, in my downtime, there is a lot of downtime as a cricketer, whether you need to mentally recharge as well, and that's where our music's always been an amazing way to mentally recharge. But also, I love building not businesses, and I love building, T20 stars and learning about different aspects, learning about
Mm.
different ways to be able to build an online business and edit and just get into things. So see how we go in the next phase, but making
So,
the most of it while I
okay,
can while I'm still playing.
fast fast forward to your last game, whenever that might be. And look, just quickly back on on the Indian Premier League, we're hopefully hearing that September, October might be the window.
Yeah.
Obviously, safety is the most important thing. We want to make sure that everyone's safe. But if we
Of
can get to
course.
a situation where we watch it on TV at home, for me, it's obviously commentating at the ground or in a studio.
Mm.
You guys are in the bubble, onto the bus, onto the ground, back to the bus, back to the hotel, in the bubble type of thing. If we can get out there and play, and certainly get that opportunity to see you again, that'd be amazing, mate. But fast forward to your
Should be.
last game,
Yeah.
and the back paper or the front paper next morning. How do you want to be known as the person when you walk away from cricket? What sort of headline would you love to read? Honestly,
That's a great
it's a
question.
tough
That's a great
question, but
question.
how would you love to be remembered for your commitment to what you've done with sport?
That's one of the best questions. That's a great question, Bingo. Um, because that's also like you get to a stage in your career where that's your legacy is the most important thing. So for me, I would love to be known as someone who got the absolute best out of myself, which I did. I know that from internally, I know everything that I've achieved or didn't achieve. I gave it everything I possibly could with
Mm.
the knowledge that I had through those moments in time. So so that's really the most important thing that I got the best out of myself. For majority of people, they enjoyed the way I played. Of course, on the battle, there's always going to be some battles on the field, but people respected um, me for the way I played on the field as well.
Mm.
So they're just the few things. But then, yeah, and that's yeah, it's probably those things.
Would you have done anything different, or would you have changed anything if you like in hindsight?
No, because everything that didn't go exactly to plan or I didn't was has been an amazing learning experience for
Yeah.
the next opportunity that arose. So, no, everyone makes mistakes. Everyone does things that they at that moment aren't proud of. But that's the best way you can learn to go. You know what? That moment arose, and geez, I didn't handle it that well. Next time a situation like that comes up, then you know what? I'm going to approach it differently to get a better result. So no, I'd never. It's every moment is an amazing learning experience. Even though sometimes at that moment you're not that proud of what happens,
Yeah.
but you just know next time you're going to be better for it.
I think that's so well said because and being now on the other side of the fence in the media game, asking these types of questions, and you ask a lot of athletes whether they're cricketers or whether they're footy players, or whatever, and you sort of say, well, would you have done things differently? And they may have not played that shot or wouldn't have bowled that ball, but at that point in time, even though that it might have been the wrong call you've made, in your brain, you've actually committed to that shot. You've committed to bowling that ball. And if it doesn't come off, as long as you learn from it. So there's been plenty of times where I've actually walked to the field and thought, geez, I shouldn't have gone for that glory ball. All I had to do was just bowl. I just got to bowl
So
back of
good.
a length,
Yeah.
give him one,
Shouldn't have gone
get
for
him
that
off
bounce rate
strike.
Yorker.
That would have been the game. But you go for
Yeah.
glory ball, and you sort of visualize the stumps get knocked over, and you're the hero. And you spray one down leg, it goes for four wides, and you lose the game. But I'm also, in hindsight, thinking that that's what made us the players that we wanted to be, and because the risk takers, because when that glory ball comes off, geez, it feels good. Doesn't always
And
happen,
well, gosh, and you've had a few of those glory balls.
but I would rather be.
Yeah.
It's like you lining up someone the first over to hit him for six. There's a risk you
Mm.
might get out and look like an absolute frosty,
Yeah.
dragging one on or skying one. But if it comes off, and most times it did, you sort of back your skills, and that's the difference between sitting on the fence as a player and actually someone that wants to go out and
Mm.
just sort of take it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Fun
exactly.
times.
And that's what life's all about as well. Like it is about like even like going into the next phase and learning about setting up a business and
Mm.
you do make mistakes, but that's the best time to learn to go, you know what? Yeah, it didn't go out go to plan, but you know what? Next time I'll know how to do it in a better way. And that's what life's
Yep.
all. I think that's just not cricket, that's not business, that's just life in general. Everyone's
Yeah.
trying to get better all the time. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone does things
Mistakes
they're
are
not
fine
proud
as
of.
long as you learn from them.
But
As long as
yeah,
you don't make the same one twice.
yeah, absolutely. We could talk about we've got so many more topics that we can cover, and I think I'd love to do this again to be able to cover some other things, dive a bit deeper or a lot deeper in some special memories that we've shared together on the field, off the field, our other passions, music, coffee,
Great idea.
wine, and so many other things. So, would you be up for maybe doing this similar next week?
Well, why not? I mean, I've got nothing
Is
else
it?
to do, really, have we?
Yeah.
No, but like
Yeah.
in all sort of seriousness, and it'd be also great to hear from the fans, and we have it,
Yeah.
because we've obviously been enjoying the conversation, and all these love hearts and different coloured, and someone there saying legends, and I'm just reading a couple of comments now, and we thank everyone for listening in the last 40 odd minutes. To me, it's
Mm.
been a lot of fun. There's been a lot of eyeballs, a lot of people watching, and hopefully guys and girls can take something, whether it's for their university or for their school or for their cricket or their relationship, whatever it might be. But yeah, we've only just scratched the surface here, mate. And maybe
Mm.
if you guys and girls want to like put some stuff in, tag us and give us a couple of different topics. We can
Yeah.
talk one day purely on one subject. Maybe we do a
Yeah.
subject on wine, people that don't like to drink, which is cool. Maybe do a subject on musical instruments. I mean, you probably can't
Mm.
see, but behind here I've got a couple of my
Look at those guitars.
beautiful axes. You can probably see there's a few. I've got
Very
about
good.
15, 16 guitars.
Yeah.
Always in the background just in case, but maybe we can do a song together, Watto. Maybe we can do
Yeah.
something and
Oh, we've had
do a
plenty of
few more
practice in the
chats.
past. Yeah.
People don't know that you're a bloody good cook. I'm a hopeless cook.
I love.
You're a bit of a gun in the
Yeah.
kitchen.
I love
Maybe you
cooking.
can
Yeah.
teach me how to. Can you cook curry for all our friends in
Of
the
course.
subcontinent?
Yeah. Yeah. Of
What do we
course.
do
I
a
love all different kinds of
curry
food. So
cooking
paratha. What about
clinic?
paratha? Do you love
Oh,
parathas?
yeah.
I've been making during the lockdown, we my kids and I were making parathas, and
No.
it's super cool, and they loved it because it's pan fried in the end. But yeah, the different sort of rolling it up, and yeah, it's great
See,
fun.
I
So
just
yeah,
love
I
a
love cooking.
good old fashioned butter chicken, torta
Yeah.
spice, little spice.
Yeah.
I get my naan bread, which is like my inside thigh pad,
Yeah.
wrap it up and smash it. To me,
Yeah.
that's. But look, there are so many topics.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So many
let's
things. Yeah.
let's do it again.
Yeah. Look, and
Hopefully,
so
everyone's
if
enjoyed.
anyone, yeah,
Yeah,
if anyone's got any like specific topics that they want us to talk about, because we like, and we'll talk about, things that we are really passionate about and love anyway, because we've got so many things in common, Binger and I. But you can tag us in, or you can also email into T20 Stars. It's info at T20 Stars. So that's just letter T 20, the numbers stars.com. And just send your questions through, all the topics you want to cover, as well, and we'll keep doing it. If people want us to
your
do it, we'd love to do
your
it.
your inbox is going to explode. You'd have about a million
That's
messages
all right.
come
I
through.
love it. No, well, we're here to
I'm,
help. We're here to help people, and that's what you said. Like, if people have got some things out of it, whether it's various things, mental skills, or different things that we've talked about today, then that's a great thing.
and look, I think people, as these chats go on, will understand that we've come from normal families,
Mm,
loving parents, and loving families, and very normal childhoods. And we both had dreams, and that's the thing. So
mm,
a lot of people out there, you think about India, 1.3 billion people. The chance of playing for your country is so slim, but someone has to do it. Like Australia, what 25 million people. And when I chat
mm,
to kids at schools, when we're obviously allowed to go and visit schools and not being locked down, you try to sort of be real positive with these kids and say, look, if I can do it from Mount Warrigal, then why can't you do it? And that's the thing. So you want to. Oops, not my glass over. You want to. I'm clumsy.
Okay.
That's
Okay,
got to
that's
be.
one thing that.
That's
Okay,
got to
okay,
be.
that's
Didn't
one
break
thing
it.
that
That's got to be a
everyone. I didn't
segment.
want to. That's a great result. The one thing everyone's got to know about Binger is he is pretty clumsy.
I'm
If
bloody
there's someone
clumsy.
who's going to knock over a glass, or someone who's going to kick a football and break a window, or like hit a ball and it just somehow smashes a window or knocks something over, it's big. You're a legend. So
There
good.
could be, I could be in a sporting field. And there's one pin. I will step on it.
So
But
cool. We love it, Binger.
one
That's what we love about you, mate.
dunk.
Um,
Right on
but
cue.
again,
Not gonna.
so everyone, yeah, if you've
Damn.
got any topics or anything that you want us to talk about, we'd love to do it again. So, but yeah, thanks so much for everyone who's tuned in today. We've got so much love and beautiful wishes here, especially from India. Everyone's tuned in from India and Pakistan, and all around the world. So
Sri Lanka as well. Yep.
Absolutely. We hope everyone really takes care and stays safe, because that's the most important thing, is we look after our families and ourselves and everyone else around us to be able to get through this really, really challenging time that the whole world is facing right now. So please take care, and we look forward to we do it again this time next week.
Keep washing your hands and some virtual hugs.
That's it.
Elbow low fives. You're a legend, mate. Really appreciate it. Great chat, and let's do it again, mate. That was good fun. Have a think about next week. We should do a song next week.
I'd love to.
I reckon.
We've had plenty of practice in the back of the bus and plenty of jam sessions, so we'll do it.
Sounds good, mate.
For sure. Awesome. All right. Thanks everyone for joining. I really appreciate it. Thanks for sending me love, and we'll hopefully see you soon. Cheers, guys.
Good on you, mate. See ya.
See ya, mate.
Bret Lee is back in the Australian side, recovering from that broken toe. Two slips, 3 men saving 1 on the offside and 2 on the leg.